Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Conversations. I'm Caster MJ, and along with me, I have my two co-hosts, Deadly.
What's up, guys?
And then I also have, I don't know, what are you going by?
I don't know what to call me.
Yeah, what are you going by?
I don't know what to call me.
Dude?
I blocked it out on my screen.
Are you the one-eyed crow? Are you?
No, that's been dead for a long time.
Are you Cryptid Nation News? Are you Ian? Are you Cardboard and Coffee? What are you, my guy?
Yes to all three.
Especially the one-eyed crow.
Really, no, not that one anymore. That one. I kind of. No, I don't think I have anything that goes by the one-eyed crow anymore.
No.
Maybe my Twitch? No, I updated the Twitch. The Twitch was the last one to be updated.
Maybe your TTS account?
Yeah, your TTS maybe? I don't
know. Ooh.
What account?
TTS?
You don't...
What's
TTS?
TTS?
You don't even play... You don't...
Oh, you're not on Tabletop?
Oh, Tabletop Simulator? No.
Yeah!
No, I think my Steam, I'm the Iceman.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever done anything channel-related on
Iceman. Chili.
Iceman. My logo on Steam is, the X-Men Iceman. I love that logo. Now I'm going to have to change it.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
You jerks. Didn't even think about it. But Cardboard and Coffee, Cryptid Nation News, or Ian, all those are fine. Because Cryptid Nation News is not, it's not going anywhere. The channel name for me is changing to Cardboard and Coffee. Cryptid Nation News is staying on as a series under the Cardboard and Coffee moniker. So basically it's allowing me to branch my channel out into new series without having everything under Metazoo, so I can talk about some other TCGs and not feel like I'm promoting Metazoo at the same time.
Yeah.
Vice versa, where people kind of come to me as a Metazoo specific channel, and then I start talking about Rise or something else. So
yeah.
I'm going to be covering multiple, and my content is still primarily going to be Metazoo and Cryptid Nation News.
Yeah, just growing a little
bit.
And
then for this channel, I'll probably still just keep the Cryptid Nation News logo up on the side.
Awesome.
Nice.
So you're still Cryptid Nation News and Ian.
Yes.
Well,
and Cardboard and Coffee, but not the one-eyed crow. Don't.
Oh, I'm gonna bring it up.
People actually still call me Crow. People still call me Crow.
That's full on dead.
At least they don't call you One Eye. So
at least they don't call me One Eye. You're One Eye.
Well, before we get into the Metazoo topics this week, let me just remind everybody that...
How is that not Metazoo topics? My channel name's Cryptid Nation News.
Yeah. It is. Let me remind everybody that not only is this podcast and Cardboard and Coffee, we are both sponsored by Immortal Workshop. So Immortal Workshop is a partner with Metazoo. If you're shopping for Metazoo, you might as well be shopping with Immortal Workshop. So check out his website, immortalworkshop.com. You'll find a link in the description below, and that is an affiliate link. So it will let them know that you came from this podcast. And with that being said, we got some news from Metazoo itself today in regards to gameplay. And that happens to be some new rules in the rule book, some updates to the rules and things of that nature. To my knowledge, this just happened a couple hours ago or something.
Yeah, I think it did.
So we're going to be going over that, talking about some changes. We're just going to literally pull it up and read it. And this is going to be new to us as well. So you'll be getting some of our raw reactions and thoughts and everything like that. And
great.
If you want to follow along, I think Ian's going to have it up.
Yep. Yeah, I should have it up on the screen. If not, I apologize for me messing up.
Yeah, but
and then awkwardly sitting off to the side of my screen.
We're trying the best here. So
yeah, you are off-centered.
So you can see we're going to be starting with the rules index actually. And we are on the first change that is possible. All the changes are highlighted in green. And Ian, would you like to read the first one?
Of course, yeah. The first change is, well, it's not really a change. It's a clarification.
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
In the rules index. So there will be changes in the rule books and some of the cards as well. But first we're going over the clarifying questions. So the first clarification for Loveland Frogman is, does Loveland Frogman have a spellbook or chapter? And the answer is no. Loveland Frogman does not have a spellbook or chapter and therefore cannot bookmark pages or discard pages due to page effects.
That seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
It makes sense.
So the ability for Loveland Frogman, and if I were to then bring it up in front of me right now, it would kind of mess up what I'm doing. But so going off memory, right, it modifies the caster's ability to draw an extra page from their chapter.
Let me pull it up just so we.
So the way that it's worded isn't that Loveland Frogman has a spellbook or chapter. It's that it's the active caster or the controlling caster may bookmark.
It says
an additional page, and it's may bookmark.
So we're talking about its arena effect, I'm assuming. And it says any spell you contract may be contracted by Loveland Frogman instead if you blow Loveland Frogman a kiss. Any effect of a spell may be contracted by Loveland Frogman that would affect you. Affects Loveland Frogman instead. While Loveland Frogman is in the arena under your control, you may bookmark an extra page from the top of your spellbook at the start of your turns.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty.
Yeah, so it's
clear.
So it's saying that's affecting you and not the frog because the frog doesn't have a spellbook.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
done.
Yeah, that one's nice and easy. So we can move on to the next one. Which
next one would be Flying Manta Ray.
Flying Manta Ray. So, Deadly, you don't have this in front of you right now, right? Do you?
Technically, yes, I do. If I just go over... Yep, got it in front of me now.
Would you like to read it?
Yeah, I'll read it. All right, so
like we're in school right now, where like the teacher's like, "Hey, it's your turn to read a passage, bud."
I'll read the next one.
When I zoom in, it just reloads on me, so... Just skip this one. I'll read the next one.
Well, do better. All right. So
my phone is just sitting here on a red screen.
Flying Manta Ray. So it says, if I use Flying Manta Ray's power, and Flying Manta Ray is paralyzed, but is still touching the chosen beastie of the power, does that beastie still gain flight from touching Flying Manta Ray? And the answer is yes. After the power has resolved and the game checks to see if the affected conditions are still true, are the two pages still touching? If they are, regardless of Flying Manta Ray having the effect text or not, the game will uphold this effect until the condition is no longer true. So it's kind of like you paralyzed the Flying Manta Ray, but you did not paralyze the thing that you just gave it flying to prior. So it still has that flying. Yep. Until I believe it's until like Flying Manta Ray is not touching it anymore or something like that.
Yep.
So yeah,
seems a little odd.
Yeah. It's different, but it makes sense to me at the same time.
Right, because it's not an arena effect that is giving flying; it's the powers giving flying. So technically, the power
has been initiated.
So what if?
So I think a keyword. I think a keyword is probably, and I don't have Flying Manta Ray in front of me, but I'm assuming the keyword is probably it gains flight. So kind of the same way.
It does gain flight.
So kind of the same way it would gain LP, and that's like permanent, or it would gain an attack bonus or something like that, and that's permanent. It's gaining permanent flight until Flying Manta Ray is not touching it anymore. So
it actually, it says gain. It says BC gains.
I was just
flying, and its attack deals. So it actually would deal half. It would deal the half damage too of the Flying Manta Ray, but his Flying Manta Ray's attack would be 0, so it would actually get nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
So just to go a little further, like a little deeper into it.
But I think that's cool that they clarified that, and I think part of the reason that they did all this clarification too is before Towers, people wanted to know how things work with these water cards specifically.
Exactly.
So I think it's cool that they did this with a little bit of time, so we still could practice and everything like that.
I was gonna say thank you, Metazoo, for at least giving us a couple weeks with that one.
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of people would really like to know this about the Flying Manta Ray. Flying Manta Ray. Sorry.
So it's interesting to me, and with this question being clarified this way, it really makes me think of, okay, where does that game state live? Right? With arena effects, the game state lives on the card, which is why you can get rid of them with Paralyze.
Yeah.
So in this case, game state doesn't live on Manta Ray. I would imagine it also doesn't live on the other card. So it just must be some floating game state. So if you were to paralyze the card that you gave flight to, it still has flight.
Yeah.
That arena state is still valid.
Yeah.
So it does seem like, at least in this case, this is some kind of like floating in the arena game state that you wouldn't be able to remove somehow.
Yeah.
Without making the two cards stop touching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right.
So the next one.
Oh my God.
There's a lot.
There's so many.
There's a lot.
There's so many.
Yeah, well, this is
two
Grim
pages?
Reaper.
No, there's only one page.
That's good. You sure you want this one, Deadly?
No. I guess I'll read it. All right. So I'm reading on my phone here, so bear with me. So this is Grim Reaper. First question is, can I search my spellbook for Grim Reaper using Index? This is a clear no. I knew that one. No, Grim Reaper states it may not be affected by other pages. You would not be able to search your spellbook and place Grim Reaper into your chapter with Index, as once you begin searching, the static effect of Grim Reaper will become known information to you and prevent you from affecting the page by selecting it and revealing it. So, gotcha. I mean, that one seems like pretty straightforward. That was like if you know what Grim Reaper does, it doesn't allow other outside pages, pages to affect it in any way. I feel like so this one is like a career direct.
I feel like most people knew this already, but again, they were just trying to clarify some stuff probably.
Yeah.
For like new, we gotta also keep in mind, like, there's still people who are just learning how to play this game or don't even know how to play this game. So this is going to be the document that they go to for clarification. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm going to it.
Some players don't even know where this document lives. Yeah.
That's true too. So I'll have the links to all this stuff down in the description for anybody who wants to know where to find this stuff.
Perfect. And it's actually interesting. So this, I think we all agreed, kind of this one, we already kind of knew Index can't do that. But it's an important clarification for the next question.
Go ahead, Deadly.
Segue, next. Can Grim Reaper be affected by pages that reveal the top page of your spellbook? So this is an interesting one. So yes, if you reveal the top page of your spellbook and that page is the Grim Reaper, you treat Grim Reaper as a normal page and resolve any effects that would affect the page or pages.
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically, you get to, you don't know what the card is on top of your spellbook, and you flip up and you look at it and you say, oh, it's Grim Reaper. And at that point, I guess you, like, I'm trying to think in a circumstance of what would happen when me looking at it, because the only thing there's only a handful of cards I can pull out of my head that you look at the top of your deck.
Here's like a quick example that comes to my mind that I feel is...
If you say Cosmic...
No, it's easy to... this one's easy to explain, I feel like.
Okay.
Excavation.
Okay.
When somebody uses it in excavation, they dig through their deck until they find...
Terra or Aura.
Earth
Aura.
So you'll be flipping through your spellbook, revealing the top pages until you get that Terra or that Aura. If you reveal that Grim Reaper in that time period, at the end of excavation, once you hit that Terra or Aura page, the opposing caster gets to put your pages back in any order they want. They could still do that. It doesn't matter that Grim Reaper is not affected by other pages. They could still put it in any order they want because it was revealed. No one knew it was going to be there. It's still just a normal page in this circumstance.
So what about like Rose Robinson? I think is that it?
Don't just make up cards now. No.
No. I can't remember. That's her name, right?
No, I think you're right.
Yeah, Rose Robinson.
Yeah. So it's a forest card, right? It's a forest beastie caster or whatever. And that card actually lets you look at the top, and then but I think it's only a forest card. That's the thing. I'm trying to find a concept in which you get to look at it, and if it's a beastie, you get to put it in your hand.
Look at the top two pages.
That's my question: is if it is a beastie,
you may switch the order of these pages. Yes, if you're just looking at the top two, bam, bam, and it's one of those.
Is that what her effect is?
Yeah. Yep, that's her contract ability.
There's one though that allows you to look, and if it's like a forest beastie, you get to like either play it or put it in your hand. I think. Well, I may be wrong.
Well, Grim Reaper's not a forest, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I'm trying to think of a concept.
So as we get more and more cards, right, and as we look at Isatok for native, which you can't contract it, but you can place it. Something like Sniper All Hallows Eve. Does that then mean that if you had a card that, say, places, if it's a beastie, the top card of your spellbook into the arena, Grim would be placed?
It would in that. It would in that situation.
I think once you reveal it, but once you reveal it, then it sees you can't physically, I feel like, do anything like that with it.
No, because if it all happens in one motion,
that would affect the page or pages.
If it all happens in one motion, where it's like now the top page gets placed or whatever, like Ian was saying, that would work. Yes, because it's saying that it's now just a normal page in this circumstance. So here's the thing that you're thinking, Paul. Like with certain cards where it's like you get to now choose the card that's on the top of your spell book type of thing. You can't do that with Grim though. You're thinking of the step afterwards type of thing. It's a two-step process what you're thinking of. It's like, yes, you need a card now where you could place Grim on top and then Grim is on the top and now you could do that what we're talking about here. You're never going to be able. You're never going to be able to do that because the thing that affects a Grim to get it to the top, you can't do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm trying. I can't remember if there's a specific card or anything that lets you, look at the top, and if it's a beastie, flat out a beastie, you get to put it in your hand.
I believe there are.
Like if somebody can but that's the thing. You should be able to pull it and put it in your hand at that point, right? Because you don't know what the card is on top, and you're doing it, and you're looking at it, and you're like, "That's what we're saying." Grim, sorry guys, it's going in my hand anyways.
Yep. For this, okay. yeah, that's it.
Well, Grim's becoming viable.
I always liked Grim.
He's a cool card.
So it's super crazy.
On to the next change. One? Yeah.
All right. So this is very small. If what you good? And then it reloaded. No? Oh.
Yeah, you're on mobile.
Yeah. All right. If I contract Smoky Spirits, Luck Potion, Unlucky Potion, or Sam's four-leaf Clover in response to Grim Reaper, can you end his combat or modify his dice rolls? The pages, this is the answer. The pages would still resolve, however, combat with Grim would not end, as that would be affecting Grim in combat. Page effects that would modify dice rolls of casters may still modify that caster's dice roll, as that will not directly affect Grim Reaper. So it's really the action of
that makes sense.
What his action of rolling the dice that has nothing to do with the actual page itself. It's like the action of rolling the dice, and you get to interact or kind of intervene with that roll.
One of the things that I like, which I mean, if you're somebody who plays competitively, this stuff kind of you already know, but it says that the page would still resolve. So they're saying if you do a Smoky Spirits, your Smoky Spirits is still toasted. You got to throw that thing in the cemetery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your Grim is still attacking you, but you got to discard that Smoky Spirits. You used it.
Yeah.
It's yes, it does end the combat, but sorry, it doesn't affect Grim. So it's still going.
So through. It ends the combat.
The card is still being played. It's just that it doesn't affect Grim. It just doesn't affect Grim. That's it.
Well, the act of him hitting you for 1, because that's his attack, right? Is 1.
Yeah.
And if you Smoky Spirits, the 1 still goes through then, and you would hit for 1.
Yeah, but one doesn't count. You can't just get 1 damage to you. So it's really what you're trying to do is the effect under the attack, which is...
You just roll the dice 1 or a 6 or something.
You may contract... Oh, no, that's the arena. I'm sorry. The attack ignores effect boxes. If this attack damaged a caster, roll a die. If the result is not a 1 or a 6, that caster...
Not a 1 or a 6.
If the result is not a 1 or a 6, that caster loses this game.
You can take 1 damage. What do you mean you can't take 1 damage?
No, because you go, Mr. MZO, come on. Damage is rounded by 5s.
Disrespect.
Damage is rounded by 5 to the nearest 5, so it automatically would go back down to.
Is it?
Yeah, damage.
We'll just have to wait for the client to come out, right?
Damage gets rounded to the nearest 5.
I'm happy to be wrong on that.
I'm going to lean on MJ with this one because TTS never lets you do 1 damage. There's no ability to do 1 damage. And
you got to
usually anytime it's always rounded with like rounded down, like crab or whatever, but it's kind of
I'm pretty confident on this one. But anyway, on to the next.
You got my vote.
Right. Yeah, somebody will answer us in the comments.
They'll be like, "You're all wrong."
Matrotta or Cutthroat will be answering.
All right, so skip that one because that one's not green. Will Intergalactic Space Council prevent Grim Reaper's win condition? So yes, as the effects of Intergalactic Space Council will only affect the casters of the game and not Grim Reaper directly, Grim Reaper will still attempt to make you lose the game. You will still resolve his effects. However, when you would typically lose the game due to his loss condition effects, Intergalactic Space Council will prevent you from losing the game. So it's really just it's obviously not affecting Grim in any way. It's just affecting that win condition.
Yeah, because
which is outside of the card.
It's affecting the caster, not the page in the arena. So yeah, again, that makes sense when you think about it. Sense. Yeah, definitely probably needed that clarification though. Honestly. Yeah, no, it's definitely a question that would have came up. Yeah, I would have had questions about that one probably. Honestly, I mean, I've never came across the scenario, but if I did, I'm sure I would have had some questions about it. And I think this is the last thing for Grim. Yeah. All right. So last one is: can you contract New Year's New Beginnings while Grim Reaper is in your chapter? It says, when contracting New Year's New Beginnings or any other effects that would affect your chapter as a whole, Grim Reaper remains unaffected by this, and rather your chapter as a whole is affected. So it's not targeting Grim specifically. He's being lumped into your entire chapter. So your chapter just goes, and he goes with it. But
it's the same.
Grim is still playable from every single area.
Yeah, you know that's true too. He's playable from everywhere.
Limbo, Cemetery, Afterlife, Chapter. You can play it wherever.
So that's the same ruling as Grafton Monster. It's just clarified for Grim as well.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not going to always be public knowledge what's in your hand. Obviously, it can be at times. So there's times where like the opposing caster doesn't even know you have Grim and stuff like that. So it's not like out in the open. I feel like that has something to do with it as well. Just like how like if you book
your own New Year's New Beginnings would also work. So it's acting upon the chapter, not the individual card.
I got you. Yeah.
Individual page.
Okay. Because like
people just want to keep it in their hand after they play New Year's and like.
But it doesn't.
Well, I'm going to keep Grim in my hand and draw 7.
But it doesn't make a difference, like you said. You could still play it from anywhere. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it makes sense to me too.
That one does make sense.
All right, and now we're done with the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
And we scroll.
We really cared about those, anyways.
I love the Grim Reaper. So Grim Reaper is one of my favorite beasties, and I think he's fun to play with. Honestly, I always have fun building a deck with it.
He's just an aggressive like win con.
I've gotten the win con off too.
Have you really?
Yeah, no, I've gotten it against Swifty.
That's amazing.
Shout out Swifty.
He doesn't want to be shouted out for that
one. Yep. We never he won the first game. I won the second game with the win con, and we never made it to game 3. So and that was like, I don't know, 8 months ago now. so it's a draw.
And you used the New Year's New Beginnings and kept them in your hand, so you cheated anyways.
So the next one is from
Wilderness.
Yeah, it's from Wilderness.
Fur-bearing trout.
Fur-bearing trout.
Yeah. Ian, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. We have, is fur-bearing trout considered a water page in addition to a frost page? The answer is yes, only while the game is active and the card becomes only while the card becomes known information to you as the caster to trigger the static effect. Wow, I can't read. On the page. While constructing your spellbook and before beginning a game, fur-bearing trout will be treated as a frost page. So there's an arena effect on fur-bearing trout, right? That says it's also considered a water page?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is an arena effect. So that's why this makes perfect sense to me. So while it's in your chapter, while it's in your spellbook, while it's not in the arena, it's only a frost page. Once it hits the arena and it's now active and known information to you, the caster, as well as, whoever else, the opposing caster and everything, that arena effect now takes effect, and it now is also a water page. And the reason this one's relevant right now, again, is for water towers. So I know people are trying to check and see water pages, not water pages. What's legal in my deck? Is this a legal spell book? Do I meet the requirements with the percentage and things like that? This would not count towards the water pages, even though it says it's a water page. Again, that's an arena effect, so it's not a water page when you're just doing your deck check.
He'll give you the +10 for Chessie though, if
he's
out in the arena.
Which that's pretty dope, honestly. But
that makes sense, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, if you show up to,
I wouldn't agree for this concept plan, but
if you show up to do your deck check at sign-ins for water towers, it's not going to count towards the towards it just in your regular spell book. It'll count towards the non-water pages. So
yes, sir.
On to the next one. Oh, there's still another one for fur-bearing trout.
Yes, still another one. So when I have fur-bearing trout in my chapter, may I contract it for 1 water aura instead of 1 frost? And basically for all the same reasons that we just talked about, no. Static effects or any effect will not change the aura cost of a page unless the effect specifically mentions the aura cost of the page.
Simple enough.
Again, straightforward.
Yeah. Fur-bearing trout. Okay, now the next one is in Seance. Nothing with UFO, huh? Skip over a whole set?
Yep.
All right. Oh, sweet. The first one is one of my favorite cards from Seance, actually, and that is the Drowned Pianist. And it asks, if a drowned pianist cannot be dealt damage from water pages, will he still block any damage? Drowned Pianist will not block any damage, as damage cannot be dealt to Drowned Pianist. However, during combat, you must still allocate damage towards Drowned Pianist, following normal combat rules, if it is a defender. After allocating the damage to Drowned Pianist, when you would deal damage, you would be unable to do so if the attacking beastie is a water beastie. All right. For some reason, that was hard for me. I feel like I'm
still confused.
I was going to say, for some reason, it's hard for me to comprehend while reading.
So basically, what's the LP? What's the LP of Drowned Pianist? 35, 40, 55? What is it? All right. Pull it up real quick.
I'm going.
Drowned Pianist.
I'm going.
Will not block any damage, as damage cannot be dealt to Drowned Pianist. However, during combat, you must still allocate damage towards Drowned Pianist, but it can't block any. Following normal combat rules, if it's a defender. So you have to do at least 5 to it.
So
that's it.
After allocating the damage to Drowned Pianist, when you would deal damage... After allocating the damage to Drowned Pianist, which you can't do because it can't take damage. When you would deal damage, you would be unable to do so if the attacking beastie is a water beastie. So that still doesn't answer...
It says no, and then it says yes.
So, right. So the root of the question is basically going to be, if I use Drowned Pianist as a defender, does damage go through to the primary target? And I feel like it doesn't answer that. Because it's saying you can't do damage to Drowned Pianist. So does that mean that the damage doesn't resolve because he can't take the damage? Or it does nothing to use him as a defender, and that damage then still goes through to the
doesn't it say
defense?
it still has to, like... Didn't you say it still has to...
Still have to
take
allocate
some damage? You
Yeah,
still
so
have to allocate
the damage allocation rules is you have to do at least 5 to every
5.
defending beastie, and you can't allocate any damage to the primary defender until all of the declared defenders are destroyed. So if you can't allocate enough damage to destroy all of the defending beasties, you can't hit the primary defender or the primary target. So since you can't damage Drowned Pianist, it wouldn't be destroyed. So then damage wouldn't go through to the target.
Well, this is like close to like Crab. So like if I was like blocking with Crab, I think they came up with I only have to allocate 55 damage or whatever its max LP is at the time instead of doing the double.
I am trying to...
Yeah, that makes sense.
You get through once you do the... Let's just say base 55 for Crab. I put all 55, and then it goes... I can put the rest through, I think.
I don't agree with that.
No, this is the way that I'm reading it. The way I'm reading it is so his arena effect, the Drowned Pianist, is this beastie cannot be dealt damage by water beasties. Beasties cannot target this beastie with powers. This beastie cannot be damaged or destroyed by water spells. I just wanted to get that out of the way first. But the way I'm reading it is that you are now using Drowned Pianist as a blocker. And if the water page is the one attacking and I use the Drowned Pianist to block, it doesn't take damage, but yes, you still have to give it that damage. And if anything goes past it, the way I'm reading it is that it's still if it's still a water page, it doesn't affect anything else. And I could very well be wrong.
What's the LP? So it would
Its
like
LP is 25.
Take, it would block 25, and then everything else would go through, but none of that 25 would touch the Drowned Pianist. That's the way that I would have taken it too.
Yes, that kind of clarified what I was saying.
That makes sense.
Okay. That kind of clarified what I was saying. So,
but I feel like that doesn't really say that there.
So no, I agree. It's very confusing the way it's written. I feel like it says the word Drowned Pianist. If it says the word Drowned Pianist way too many times, okay?
Be very careful with your pronunciation.
So
Ian's just waiting for you to say.
I was.
Yeah.
Don't say
MJ's the one who would say
it. It's a family channel. You can hint at it.
This is not a family channel.
Yeah, thanks to me and MJ at this point. Ian's over here like, baby Jesus.
There is viewer discretion advised, okay?
I got heated once.
Ooh.
Once.
Yeah, it's spicy. That was
see if you can find it in one of those videos.
That was Cryptid Conversations After Dark, you know?
It was.
These are all after dark for us.
We shouldn't say it now, but then there was that one episode was like, I don't know how to say this. MJ was like, I don't know how to say this without being vulgar. And then said something incredibly vulgar. What?
Yeah, it was during that 6-week span that you took off from doing podcasts.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I feel like I watched you do that.
Speaking of After Dark, the next one is the fetish artifact. So, Deadly, would you like to read that one?
I will. So fetish artifact.
It looks like I'm going to try and fix my screen real quick. It looks like I'm stuck on fur-bearing trout on the recording.
Okay.
No,
that's not cool.
You good? You want me to read?
No, you can go. I'll fix it while you're talking, I guess.
Okay.
We'll try to.
So it says, I used fetish artifacts power, and while it was a beastie, I equipped a static wand to the page. What happens at the end of the next turn? Now I feel like I'm taking an MZO exam. Like, they're like, what happens?
Well, no, because you got the answer right there.
No, I know. It's a study. Fetish artifacts page type will revert back to an artifact. The equipment will remain equipped to the page. All effects that would typically affect the page type beastie, will no longer affect fetish artifact, as fetish artifact's page type is now artifact, and does not meet the criteria for the equipment effects. So basically, once it turns from a beastie back into an artifact, the static wand would not allow the effects of the page to work for an artifact. Mm-hmm. It would stay under it. But here's the other question, which might be the next one. It would be, once you turn it back, because it doesn't say it falls off. It says that the page stays under the artifact.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, so Power Up Red, though, is specifically if the beastie leaves the arena and it's no longer a beastie, whereas equipment, the page it's under needs to leave. What's the wording on equipment?
If
exactly
beastie artifact or spell has this trait, you may attach this page to chosen beastie.
Right. I went ahead.
I believe you
so
can.
Why would it stay under one?
I believe you can only.
That's what I'm saying.
You can only attach equipment to beasties, I believe.
Well, yeah, but it was a beastie at one point.
So I believe once it goes back to an artifact, then it would just...
You would think it would fall off because now it's an artifact and now it's like a illegal target. In my opinion, it was now an illegal target. It should fall off. But clearly...
It doesn't, yeah.
It's saying the otherwise. But the next question actually...
So hold on. I just want to clarify that MJ is wrong. The wording is you must equip this page to a chosen page based on its written effects.
Oh.
There you go. It's just a page then.
Well, that means Caster Society's wrong.
Why you gotta be wrong?
I'm on their website,
Read
so blame Caster Society.
Effing card.
Blame Caster Society. I'm on their website. I'm hovering over equipment, and it says equipment. It says page to a chosen beastie. Blame Caster Society. That's my fault for trusting them in the first place.
Bats, if you're watching this, please update that.
No.
And put Tahoe Tessie on your frickin' site so I could play it on TTS.
Deadly's so butthurt about that.
Dude, whenever I don't see a card on there, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? It's like either like no one wants to play cards. I'm playing Cam, and then I'm over here, and then I can't play it on TTS either. It's just not available.
Dude, you just got to make...
Sometimes I think they hide it because it's just so good they don't want anybody else using it.
You just got to make your own game. Dude, you just got to make your own... make something better or worse than TTS. I don't know.
I don't have that
please
kind
not worse.
of ability.
better or worse, you know? But...
This is not marriage.
So what else does fetish artifacts say here, Deadly?
So the next one actually kind of goes on kind of what our thoughts were with artifacts. So basically the next question is, I use fetish artifacts power. Hold on. And while it was a beastie, I thought I was reading the answers before.
You told me to hold on, dude.
No, I was telling myself to hold on. Okay, so it starts over. I used fetish artifacts power, and while it was a beastie, I contracted a power-up red and placed it under it. What happens at the end of next turn? When, obviously, it turns back into an artifact. So the answer is, fetish artifacts page type will revert back to an artifact. Power-up red specifically states that if the beastie power-up red is under would leave the arena, place power-up red into the cemetery. As fetish artifact is no longer a beastie, power-up red is no longer under the beastie it originally was, and will be placed into the cemetery.
Dang.
Which is like what we mentally thought for the other one, but the other one had a different wording on the static wand card.
Yeah.
I love that we're like reading the new errata and changes, and MJ's like, I'm going to go to this website that definitely does not have today's update.
Basically, yeah, 100%. Don't blame me for being me.
Why haven't you changed something that just changed?
So on to the next one. It is Sam's backpack. I honestly don't know too much about Sam's backpack. It's not a card I looked into too much to begin with.
It's a good one.
I know you've definitely.
And you got the LGS version, bro.
I do.
You didn't even read it?
I have two LGS. I have two of the LGS.
This is so shiny.
I have two of the LGS versions.
It's so shiny. You can't even stop looking at it.
I don't play light, so I mean, I just haven't had a reason to read it really yet.
Wow, you've never played against light?
No, I really haven't recently. So, I guess now I'll be learning more about it right now. Okay. So Sam's backpack. I control 2 Sam's backpacks. Oh, perfect! I got 2 of them in the arena. And Sam's rabbit.
This sounds like me.
So I control 2 Sam's backpacks in the arena and a Sam's rabbit foot that is touching both of them. Sam's rabbit foot is targeted for an attack. Which Sam's backpack will become the target of the attack instead? If you control, this is the answer. If you control both Sam's backpacks, you may choose which backpack will become the final target of the attack.
Yeah.
So I don't even know these cards. I don't know Sam's rabbit foot either, but I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory that if there's 2 of the same things, just like my reference is Enfield Monster. I'll just stick with that. If there's 2 Enfield monsters in the field, whoever's attacking gets to choose which Enfield monster they want to attack towards, because both state that you have to target that card. So if there's 2 of them out there, you get to choose which one that you have to target, type of thing.
Exactly.
So yeah,
and just I brought it up just so we could kind of be thorough here. The Sam's backpack has an arena effect that if any page with Sam's in its name is touching the artifact and is targeted for an attack, this artifact becomes the target of the attack instead.
Gotcha.
Basically, just blocks whatever attack you're trying to do for the other ones, as long as they're touching them.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. That is interesting.
You got to get through the backpack before you can get my rabbit foot.
Yeah, you got to dig through it a little bit.
Get out of
there. Like mentally, I have like 2 backpacks connected by a rabbit foot.
Yeah.
In my head right now.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too, actually. All right, the next one. Ooh, we're going to Hero Quest Genesis.
Hero Quest Genesis.
And once again on this podcast, I am reminded that I do not own this card.
It's upsetting.
I hate it. Oh, I love this clarification.
Go ahead, since you love it so much.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason I love it is this is the way that I had originally understood the card to work. I did a video on it, and it was actually Matrada reached out. He's like, "Hey, that's not how Hero works." I'm like, "Oh man!" So then I had to go into the comments and be like, "Guys, I'm sorry," and then pin the message. But so the way that Hero is written is that it'll reduce the cost of beasties from the Hero Quest set, and there's a differentiation between set and subset, right? So Hero Quest, the set, is Hero Quest, right? Hero Quest, the subset,
totally
is
Genesis
or Remix. I think is the official name for 2.0, right? So the way that I had kind of always thought it worked was the way that it's being clarified here. So the question is, will Hero's power affect beasties from any Hero Quest set or just Hero Quest Genesis? And the answer is Hero will affect all beasties from all Hero Quest sets, not just Hero Quest Genesis. So the kind of the original correction was because Hero Quest was the subset, not the set name. Or no, it says subset in the card, I think, actually.
It says...
Hero...
It says...
Of course, I'm pulling it up on my phone because I can't.
Once per turn, the next BC you contract from the Metazoo Hero Quest set costs 2 less ore to contract. So it makes...
Yeah, okay, cool.
It makes it seem like it would be the first one. Yeah, but that's not... it's not at all what it's saying.
Right. So Hero is infinitely more useful with every Hero set that comes out.
Yeah, somebody's still selling me one for like $150. Just do it.
No, sell me one over Deadly.
A hero himself is their self. I don't know
their self.
what hero is.
Let's not identify gender to any of these.
I didn't mean to.
It's a.
That's why I'm trying to fix it, and now it's awkward.
It's a cardboard. It's a
piece of cardboard.
It's a cardboard.
Hero the cardboard is a beastie, right?
Let's ask Steve Aoki what the gender is.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. It's not even born for another 155 years.
I don't know. We can hold the cardboard in hand now, right? So a hero is a beastie. It's a beastie caster, if I recall.
Yeah.
It is a beastie hero. It is a beastie hero.
Oh wow.
Okay, sorry, beastie hero, but still beastie. So that would mean that Genesis hero would reduce the cost of Remix hero. So, building a spell book around hero and the pullet rings and all the different forms of hero, I think is something we're going to see in the future.
Yeah. I wish I would be able to do that, but
I didn't get it.
I have 2.0 hero.
I don't
have 1.0.
I don't have hero, and I don't have any Hero Quest 2.0. Not a single card from that set.
It's nobody's fault but your own.
I agree, but I got somebody who's holding on to some for me, so I'll get some eventually. Okay.
All right.
So now we're on Hero Quest 2.0.
2.0.
So, card.
You want to do this one too? You were so excited about the last one.
I don't know the 2.0 cards as well as I know 1.0. So I didn't even realize Ziri had a power that.
I've never even heard of Ziri.
Similar.
I'll read it. I got it.
Okay.
All right. So we got Ziri. Will Ziri's power allow me to destroy any beastie from any Hero Quest set? The answer is yes. Ziri's power alone is the VIP. That's the name of the power. Will allow you to destroy any beastie from any Hero Quest set. Hero Quest Genesis, Hero Quest 2.0, and probably added on when they do 3, 4, 5, whatever the next sets are for that. So it's going to be ongoing as well. Which also makes sense. You know what I mean? I personally thought Hero, the original Hero, was going to do that beyond. Like the next set. I already had that in my head. So I was way beyond. No. I just, the way it read in my head was like Hero Quest set. And if it's a Hero Quest set, regardless of 2.0, Hero Quest, like whatever the name is, it still says Hero Quest. And I feel like that's very similar to, how the regular Metazoo sets go with like Seance, UFO, all those stuff.
Yeah.
I think the difference is if you think of Cryptid Nation, the spell Cryptid Nation only works on Cryptid Nation cards, and the set symbol for all Cryptid Nation cards are the same. The set symbol for Genesis and Remix are different.
Yeah.
But they're coming at, I guess.
They're branding, the branding logo is the same for Hero Quest. But the set symbol itself in the top left corner is different between Hero Quest.
So that's where the question comes into play, is because the top symbol is different. And they're like, well, just because we had to wait for this like Nightfall Mothman to become a Cryptid Nation Mothman, like because that happened.
Yeah.
It is now a Cryptid Nation Mothman, and can be used with Cryptid Nation promo. So that's, I guess, where the question comes in. And I mean, maybe my mind just didn't wrap around that yet.
Yeah.
Wait, back up. Nightfall Mothman
has a Cryptid Nation version.
It has a Cryptid Nation version?
Yeah.
No.
When was that released?
I'm serious. It does. I know this. I'm like almost like 99% sure. Is it the rug?
It might be the rug.
I have the rug somewhere here.
Check the Mothman for the rug. I think it's Nightfall.
It might be the rug, actually.
Where's my rug? We can continue on. I'm just going to go through a stack of Hero Quest. Literally, this is my stack of Hero Quest cards that I have over there.
No worries. So I'll go.
Which I think the rugs are mixed in.
To the next one. Oh, it says general.
Yeah, I don't know where my rugs are right now.
So this is not about cards. This is general rules we're at now in the rules index. And the one I'm going to be reading, it says all artifact essences. Can I contract a third artifact essence since the effect states you may not control more than 2 artifact essences, there's no S at the end, more than 2 artifact essence in the arena. The answer is no.
It's it.
It is it.
Sorry, we weren't listening to you. He found it,
Yeah,
and then
I
I
found
looked on
it, and
eBay.
it's
the Cryptid Nation Nightfall one.
Well, Deadly, it wasn't your job to look, so I'm disappointed in you.
Wow.
Well, I looked anyways and found it.
I'm disappointed in you
I appreciate your drive.
because
I want to know. I want to know
Well,
how good my memory was.
and that's why the news guy was looking it up for you.
Whoops.
So again, I'm not rereading it for the viewers. The answer is no. The effect.
What's no?
The effect.
What was the question?
The effect
Yeah, what
would
was the
check
question?
before contraction and denote that you are unable to perform this action, as you would be breaking the rules set established by the other essences within the arena. I feel like that was already the rule. I don't know what was updated.
I feel like this is a question they include in here as it's like the same reason that you go to like McDonald's and there's a warning that's like, careful, contents are hot.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, just to remind you,
Yeah.
this
If
is
you're
still
the
a
person that asked
rule.
this question, I'm sorry if I'm offending you right now.
Maybe they heard it just so many times in the chat.
but
They were
why?
just like, we just need to highlight this green every time. Like, why are people playing 6 artifact essences and playing the game all the way through?
I don't even know what would be the reason to try to contract a third. And this might go back to the same.
There's many reasons
if you
why I
remember-
would contract a
It's
third.
an advantage.
Yeah,
It's an advantage for more aura.
if I could have as many of them out,
But
I would.
knowing that you can only have 2 in the arena, right? So it feels like can I still try to contract it? And the answer, obviously no, you can't control more than 2. So like,
What if you
it would
contract
fizzle.
it? Can you
But
choose which
why
one
would
to
you
get rid of?
try?
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't know.
mistakes. It's a mistake, first off, but maybe you get rid of another one. I don't know if you can choose.
Yeah, but it would come in fatigue.
I feel like
so
it
what's the
wouldn't
point?
because I feel like it would fizzle, like you said. You would play it and it would
Yeah.
say nope, and that one would just
Nope.
go. You just lose a card.
Nope. But it makes me think of back at Christmas time when people were like, "Can I gift a chaos crystal to my opponent?" It's like, why? Why?
How are you gifting a chaos crystal? It's not a present. With Santa?
I just want to do it.
Ian, this is not one of the ones that's highlighted, but I just want to read the next one that's written.
No, please don't.
Which is burrowed. And it says, can you target burrowed BCs with potion? Yes, which we always knew. But that just got me thinking about the card that you were talking about with lightning in a bottle. You could still
Winolagolas.
You could still lightning in a bottle and kill that thing.
Yeah,
What?
exactly. You can take that.
Yo, that's
out a
dope.
single
To
thing?
a fucking
What do you mean
burrowed
kill it?
BC?
For what?
All right. So I don't know if you watched my channel or if you watched the live that I did with Trementic and CNO.
What, the
last
one
week.
yesterday?
Monday.
Yep. What's today? Today's Wednesday, so 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yes, that one. So I went over the spoiler that we were given from Andy on the live that we did, and upon contraction, Winolagolas allows you to destroy a BC with first strike. So it's kind of a Ket's counter. But you can pair that with lightning in a bottle. So you can lightning in a bottle your opponent's beastie, which gives it first strike, and then you contract Winolagolas to then destroy that beastie.
So you can now do that to a.
This is a set that's unreleased, so I clearly.
You could now do this to a burrowed BC. Was just my point from reading that in the.
It's a
index.
set
It just
that's
reminded me.
unreleased, and you just don't watch my news updates, and it makes me sad.
It's okay. I do.
I
Don't
watched.
worry about it.
I watched the entire live stream the other day, and
Apparently, you didn't.
I was loving every second of it. You guys were so interactive with the chat.
this week. This week,
Never
yeah.
pinned a single message of mine.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Okay, back to the episode. Deadly, you want to read combat damage versus within combat?
I'm really glad they clarified this.
Yeah, I got you. So combat damage versus within combat. So if I have a beastie that has declared an attack, and its attack effect allows me to deal 10 damage to target beastie, is that damage considered combat damage? Yes. As your beastie is an attacker and has declared an attack, they are engaging in combat, and thus damage produced from that source during the combat sequence is considered combat damage. So it is all inclusive. Everything that is written on the bottom of the text of the attack is still considered combat.
It's just like one attack, but a combo in a way. It's just like one attack that hits twice almost.
So Guardian Angel does 10 damage to all dark beasties.
Something like that, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think that's right.
10 damage to all dark pages, actually. I think it's pages. And that's considered combat damage.
Gotcha, yeah.
So technically, it would be doing damage to Crab. It would be doing damage to Stone Skin because it is considered combat and not outside of combat damage.
Okay.
So
that does change some things.
Gets around Stone Skin. Gets around.
Change some things, though.
It gets around, I think, Burrow as well. Right.
This is what's very interesting about Metazoo to me too. Though, is like the wording is so specific, and like contracting and placing.
If there's an or instead of an and,
targeting and choosing, and select and not target, and like all these words and stuff. So like, this little tiny minute detail could change a lot in the game, honestly. Because there's things that don't take combat damage, and people have not been considering that combat damage up until this point. Or other things along those lines. That's just an example.
At times, yeah.
Yeah, that's just an example that came to my head. But yeah, that could change some things. It's very interesting to me actually. There's one more part for this section.
Ooh. All right. Next question is, what does it mean for a page to be in combat? A page must be an attacker or defender in a combat sequence to be considered within combat or in combat. So basically, if you defend with someone, that's combat. If you're attacking, it's combat.
And anything you are attacking and that is getting damage
in combat
is in because anything that gets damaged is considered a defender.
Seemed pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, that goes along.
Yeah,
I think the first part was
more,
I
agree.
The clarification we all wanted and needed.
All right, so now
moving on.
The next thing we got is
we're going Christmas set
effects causing.
I just see the Christmas stuff.
Yeah, we're now just in general rules.
I froze again, so I'm just going to fix that. So you'll be distracted for a second.
No, you're good. It says effects causing beasties to declare attacks. And it says, if an effect states, target beastie must declare an attack, or this beastie must declare an attack. What does that mean? The answer, any instance of an effect stating a beastie will be declaring an attack or must is referencing you as the caster declaring an attack with that beastie. For example, Bellwitch states, this page must declare an attack immediately. This effect is telling you as the caster that you must declare an attack with Bellwitch as the next possible action you can take. Bellwitch will not perform the attack on its own. It will still require the controller of the page to perform the action with it as a game piece. And that makes perfect sense to me. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory.
So is that like potential for a misplay or something?
I feel like
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think part of this came up with a question that I had back in UFO. I think was one of the first clarifications was Mike the Headless Chicken.
Yeah, I was going to bring him up.
Yes. That's true. You did.
Which must attack if able.
yeah. You were a little upset about that.
You really wanted those to be viable.
I was, and I feel like the must kind of clarification has been around for a while. It's just the first time that it's really being, clarified in writing.
Yeah.
In an official document, I should say. So.
Yeah. No, I like it. Ian, you want to go to the next one for us?
No. Yes. Maybe. Okay. Losing traits versus removing traits, which, all right. Some mechanics state that a page will lose a trait, while other effects will remove traits from pages. Are those interchangeable? Yes, when referencing traits specifically, any effect that removes traits is causing the page to lose traits. The same implications can be applied in reverse to any situation. So this is just a clarification that they mean the same thing, regardless of different wording, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, not much really to talk about there.
Pretty simple.
It probably just makes it sound less awkward when you're stating a statement on the card.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
that's all I figure out of it.
So the next one, deadly.
All right, next. This one says placing a page into a zone versus sending a page to a zone. Some effects state that a page is placed in a zone, and some effects state that a page is sent to a specific zone. Are these two phrases interchangeable? Same as the last, says yes. Placing a page into a zone is considered sending this page to a zone. The inverse can apply as well. If a page is sent to a zone, it is considered to have been placed in the zone as well.
Yep. Just wording clarification.
Makes sense. So send this page to the afterlife, place this page into the afterlife.
I'm just noticing we're on page 30 of this document and there's 73 pages in it.
Yes, because the errata is also part of this document. So I'm thinking that we might want to split this up into 2 episodes between the clarifications and errata and the rule changes.
Gotcha. Yeah, that might.
If it's
that might
70,
be wise.
then
that might be wise.
Go to 35.
I don't know how. I honestly, like you mentioned at the beginning of this is our first time seeing this document. I have no idea how many errata.
I haven't even gotten personally to page 75.
I know there's
70.
I know there's a dampen errata, which is I have questions.
I was going to say maybe there's none.
I've seen that.
But I guess there are.
No, there's at least a dampen one.
Okay.
And I have questions on how people were playing it before because it's really interesting to me.
No worries. We'll get to it. So the next one falls under trap. And it's asking if I have if I have control of a beastie, place a trap face down under it, and at the end of the turn, lose control of that beastie, what happens to the trap page under it?
Okay, so if your opponent were to permanent possess.
Gotcha.
Traps don't move.
No.
They don't move with the beasties. They stay right there.
Hence the question, Deadly.
Yeah.
The answer is
the
trap page is still controlled by you. If you were to target the page the trap is under for an attack, the trap would still flip as normal. If you still have a chance to contract a page as normal, and end combat would carry out as normal, as with exception that the trap that flipped is a defender in combat under your control, while the opposing caster may still declare further defenders, including your trap page. That might be the longest sentence I've ever read in my entire life.
So it's a defender in combat under your control.
Why was that such a long sentence?
Yeah. I have questions.
I have questions too.
Yeah, I want clarification on this.
So do you still deal damage to it? It's a defender, which means that you're attacking, it's defending, but it's still under your control.
Yeah, I feel like this.
Yeah, so and then the end of the sentence, the opposing caster may still declare further defenders, including your trap page. So yeah, you're attacking your own trap, even though it's still under your control.
Okay.
So they can induce the trap to be flipped against your own.
The benefit is what you placed as a trap, so you can kind of account for that.
Yeah, you can account for it.
And if it survives, it's still under your control.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But traps, they have to flip as soon as they're targeted. So it's like, either way, you don't really have much choice over it.
Yeah, well, you just wouldn't be able to target that if you didn't want to flip your own trap against yourself. Or you sacrifice something to be able to flip it and gain that beastie under your control.
Interesting.
It's interesting. It's an interesting interaction.
It is.
Traps are always confusing.
It's something I would not have been thinking about if it wasn't for this, though. I'll tell you that.
Until you hit it in a game.
Yeah.
You're like, MCL, judge.
Well,
WTF is this?
He's gonna be like, dude, didn't you make a video about this? You should know this.
Ian.
This is gonna be so bad when I make mistakes. You're gonna be like, dude, you made a video about this. Like, you should clearly know what you're talking about.
Oh man, I just went to the next section and there's
errata.
It's a whole page of green.
Oh my god!
So many errata.
Oh man,
Yes.
It's a booster box. What is it? Cryptid Nation booster box?
Booster box.
Oh, they're just
I think it just
specifying
means
to the
base
set.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, hold on. Okay, so this is gonna be everything because almost everything in Cryptid Nation.
I'm just skipping ahead a little bit. Yeah. Oh my god, every single card.
Because every card got in those first Cryptid Nation, everything got errated pretty much. Like the wording got changed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, all the theme decks are changed
Oh my
here.
gosh, yeah.
Oh wow.
And then you go into official Metazoo errata.
Okay, yeah.
And that's different. Okay, wait. So what was?
Yeah, what was
I
that?
apologize to anybody that is watching my screen right now as I flip through 70 pages worth of Cryptid Nation errata. What was the? We can probably just skip this.
Yeah, probably. What was the name of this though?
Clarification effect arena. Oh, okay. So like some arena effects didn't exist back then in the terms of saying arena before it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Right. So like things are stating, okay, this is a static effect. This is an arena effect.
Okay, yeah, we're not going to go through all of those because this is the same
cool.
reason
So-
though. Just for anybody who is listening, this is the reason why during like Caster Cup last year, they said that Cryptid Nation First Edition was not allowed in Caster's Cup, and it was to avoid any confusion because all the wording has pretty much been changed from that first set.
I think this still applies to second edition, this section, though.
It very well
I don't
could.
know how much they actually, but I don't know how much they changed. I know there are some changes, but I don't know how much they actually changed with the sets.
I think it's just clarifications on what's a status
Yeah.
effect and what is a arena effect. And what we see on this front page here of the section, it says these clarifications will not be considered errata to any page and will primarily focus on beasties and artifacts' intended functionality. So the card is still written properly. It's just, I think when you're trying to figure out how to resolve certain interactions, it's important to know that, okay, this is being treated as an arena effect. This is being treated as a contract effect.
Yes.
Etc. So I don't think we want to cover every single card here and kind of go over that.
Yeah.
So we can skip
Not
through that.
really.
Nah, and I just fast forwarded a little bit to the regular like erratas, and it's not like every page and stuff. So
It's just dampens the next one after that.
yeah, dampen is the next one after that, and then there's a few after dampen as well. So,
All right,
And we're on
But-
page 50,
but-
58 now.
but I still do agree that we're already over an hour.
We should probably, yeah.
We're already over an hour. We should probably do a separate episode for
Dampen?
the rule book.
Let's look at that ahead of time
for
too. It
Cryptid
might not even be enough to do a full episode.
That's true.
We could just we can still touch on it.
Yeah.
If it's not enough.
But
All right.
let's go to your dampen here, Mr. Ian.
All right. Dampen. Original text. Target spell does not resolve its effects and traits. Corrected text. Target spell in the resolution chain does not resolve its effect and traits. So
What's the difference?
No, there is a difference.
Explain to me like I'm five.
With the original text, were people playing dampen, you have to play it in. It can be contracted at any time. Is that what dampen is? Now I'm questioning.
Yeah. Dampen should be able to play at any time.
And it has to be in response to another spell.
I believe
yeah.
so. Yes.
This page can be played at
So-
any time.
So here's my scenario. Deadly, you have a cement worm with power up red in the arena already. You play New Year's New Beginnings. I play dampen, but I don't target your New Year's New Beginnings. I target your power up red. No, it's out of the arena,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, it's out. It's not in the arena.
All right, so
How are
that
you
wouldn't work
targeting
anyway
I was going to say, how are you targeting something that's already been played?
because it's not in the resolution chain. Target spell does not resolve its effects and traits, right? So why would you need the clarification of in the resolution chain?
that it's actually being actively cast. They're saying you can't target a spell that's already been played and sitting out on the board or something like that.
Right, and there's not that many spells that are played and sit out on the board anyway.
No.
Power of Bread's the first one that came to mind, but it's actually under a beastie, so it's not valid anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm questioning, why was this clarification needed? Why was this errata needed? So does it mean that people were playing it and then targeting something that isn't in the current resolution chain? Something that, there are.
But it says doesn't errors, resolve, right? Which in my head, resolve means that it's actively being played. And it's in the resolution already. Resolve resolution.
Here's an example that I'm thinking of that maybe somebody has tried to do. Abduction. It's a spell that you're using, and now your beastie is on a Terra page. You can't, once you get your dampen, be like, I'm going to use my dampen to reverse that abduction and get my beastie back. It's not going to work like that. I have a feeling like
it's not.
Well, that would already be in the cemetery, the abduction, right?
Correct, but they're just trying to reverse. I'm just saying, I feel like maybe like new players or something like that make these common mistakes. Again, this is for them. It's not really for us who've been playing the game and know the rules and stuff like that already. We know how these cards interact already. This is for somebody who's new. So they might be thinking like, no, I could use this dampen and maybe I could reverse the spell that was up, but it doesn't work that way. I feel like it's just clarification for like that maybe.
Yeah.
I'm
not even trying to pick it apart. I'm just trying to understand the why. Like, why is this clarification needed?
Yeah. But it's the same
word
rule.
Resolve.
It's the same rule.
Yeah. So, but it does raise a question. The corrected text, target spell in the resolution chain does not resolve its effects and traits.
Yeah.
You can get 6, 7, 8 levels deep in a resolution chain if you're constantly paying back and forth off each other. Does that mean you can choose the second spell that was chosen even though you're the 8th spot in the resolution chain?
No, I believe...
So the way that I've seen dampen played and the way that I think of it in my head is you're playing
to be
dampen
the direct
against a direct spell.
Yes.
But that's not how this is written now either. Right, target spell in the resolution chain. It should be
they're
target
saying
spell that was just cast.
You can basically, in my opinion, if they're trying to say that, is like, okay, you play a power up red. If you play a power up red, and then let's say I second anniversary it, then you're like, nah, I'm gonna dampen that, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna dampen that. Or you're like, no, I want to dampen. Yeah. I'm not going to dampen that. I'm just going to dampen your first anniversary or your power up red again. You can't do that. It has to be in the resolution change. It has to be within the last one that was. It's like stacks. It's stacking.
So yeah.
But it's not saying the order of the resolution chain. It's saying in the resolution chain. The chain is multiple.
So you can do any of that.
That's what.
So I could be like, nope. I'm gonna.
That's the wording that's here, in my opinion.
And I do agree with what Ian's saying as well. That is the way it's written. That is, so you're not, to me, that is the way it's written. You don't need to
dampen the dampen. You can re-dampen the original card, or you can re-dampen a card from before it.
Nope, I do agree with Ian that to me is how it is
You could dampen your own spell that you played previously.
You could, if you wanted to, if you found a reason.
If the resolution chain, if the priority bounced back to you and for some reason you needed to.
Yeah.
You could dampen your
well, okay, so valid. This is, instead of dampening the dampen, you're just like, no, I'm just going to dampen it again. I'm going to dampen your
or a different part of the chain.
So you're basically allowing their dampen to go through, and you're like, all right, take my dampen. I'm still going to dampen that other thing again.
Yeah. Or they dampen. So this is wow. Like in my head,
I know it's spinning. I know we're just doing this right now.
Okay, let's put it this way. They play New Year's New Beginnings. No, it still works out the same way. It doesn't really matter what you dampen. You're still dampening.
It's still going to resolve
either their dampen or their New Year's New Beginnings. Because
if you dampen their dampen,
there are resolution chains where it's going to matter, though.
Yeah,
that's why I'm kind of questioning it.
Because there's multiple that you could use. It's not only dampen. There is second anniversary celebration. There is a few other curse contract. There are a few other like anti where you're like, no, now I'm going to do this. Nope, now I'm going to do this. Well, now I'm going to do this. So it's not only dampen. We're just dampen's the one that we're talking about right now.
So is this only effective to dampen rather than curse contract?
But in this resolution change, there could be multiple things. It's not only going to be just dampens. That's my point.
Right. So, like, if you have New Year's New Beginning leading into a second anniversary celebration, leading into something that's reacting to that, leading into
a cursed contract into now a dampen. Yeah.
Cursed contract. Yeah, exactly. You can choose anything in that chain to dampen.
Yes, correct.
With the text how it's written here.
I agree with you completely. That's how it sounds to me.
Somewhere it's going to be relevant.
Yeah.
That we're not.
Yeah.
Somewhere, somehow it has to be relevant.
I feel like
we're not thinking of it.
I feel like it probably already
I think viewers are going to understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, I feel like it probably already is relevant. It's just that nobody is building around or anything. Or like
it's going to be a very specific thing, and it
exactly.
completely rewires how we think of dampen if that's how it's supposed to be played.
It does.
If not, the wording here needs to be changed to something along the lines of targets the most recent spell in the resolution chain does not resolve its effects.
Yeah.
Because you have to have priority anyway. The most recent would be one of the opposing casters. If you're in a, however many people are playing, it would be the next in the chain.
You have to take in consideration whatever card says play at any time. Those are the cards. Technically, as long as it's like a spell, because dampen's spell driven.
Yeah.
So if you were to have something dampened and you were like, oh, I'm going to play this over on top of it that isn't affecting their dampen at all, can they actually change the target, or once you pick the target? You're like, actually, no, I'm going to change. No, I don't think. I'm just confused. I guess don't even consider that.
I actually like this change a lot. And if the way we're originally talking about it, not listening to what Deadly just said,
don't listen.
I actually really like that change. Because it was only the way it was written previously and the way people were using it previously, the way I've encountered it previously, was it was just direct to the following spell.
The way that it's been used, yes. The way that it was written was wide open, even further than in the resolution.
Exactly, I do agree. But yeah, that's just the way it was like assumed, I should say.
And I feel like that's just how our brains are wired from like Magic and other card games that have a resolution chain.
Probably, but this I feel like makes it, way more strategic, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, you're still going to be reacting to the most recently played spell.
Correct. But where it gets interesting is now your reaction. If you like, we've seen that before. Where like we were saying, where you dampen and then that gets dampened. But you were responding to their dampens at that point.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care about your dampen.
And in reality,
I don't care about your
ability
dampen.
to play.
I'm still worried about that first card.
Right.
So I like this change for that reason. Because like, now I'm worried about your stupid dampen when I was worried about your first anniversary celebration, man.
Yep.
I want to still be worried about that first card that I was worried about. I don't want to be worried about now 2 cards.
Yeah.
I'll let you waste your dampen so I could go back to my first anniversary. Yeah, so it's interesting. It will be way more relevant in the future, though, I feel like we were saying, where those resolution chains could build up more, things like that. Yeah, that's very interesting.
I have to say, I don't think I've ever seen a resolution chain more than 4 deep.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't think
I have
caster
either.
A, caster B, caster A, caster B.
So there's the initial play of the spell. There's a potential second anniversary, and then dampen.
And then dampen.
Yeah, that's about as far as I've seen.
That's the most complex I think I've seen.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page.
But you could get a lot more complex.
We could.
Yeah.
Even with like, I use cursed contracts in my deck and stuff. But as the sets progress, we're going to be seeing more of these types of cards. It's only in like, including neutral, I feel like there's only like 3 or 4 different aura types that have these types of cards right now. Spirit and water being 2 other ones. They're gonna have to add stuff like this. Well, not have to, I guess that's not the right way to put it, but they're probably going to add stuff like this to other aura types as well. I feel like they just do that. They kind of balance out the aura types, so I feel like this will become way more relevant, and you might even be able to like side deck dampens to like strategically use it against like a deck that does stuff like has a bunch of curse contracts, just for an example, or something like that, you'd be like, damn, I could throw some dampens in there to mess up their resolution chain and stuff like that. Like, it could become like a strategic way to play side decking in the future. I could see it happening.
Yeah, I'm really curious if this is going to see another errata. If they actually do want it to be it's only the most recent card.
It's definitely possible. But we could go on to the next one now, which is a few pages down. It's on page 65 if you just want to skip ahead there, Ian.
I don't know how numbers work.
Well, they go in order. It starts with 0. Well, it doesn't start with 0.
my daughter's sleeping right now. I can't ask her.
Yeah, right. So the next one is Intergalactic Space Council, which was already brought up earlier in this episode.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have Beastie Boys stuck in my head all night.
Dude, I love the Beastie Boys. So it says the original text, Arena. All casters may not win the game unless all opposing casters' LP are reduced to 0. You may not lose the game unless your LP is reduced to 0. Reduce all damage dealt to this artifact by half, rounded up. That one's in parentheses, rounded up, because normally it's rounded down, Ian. But anyway, the corrected text, it says, Arena. All casters may not win the game or lose the game due to win condition or lose condition page effects. Reduce all damage dealt to this artifact by half, rounded up. Huh. So
just kind of clarifies.
Yeah,
different wording. Same thing.
Different wording.
Makes it easier to understand. Yeah.
So they're saying a win condition and a lose condition. They're just specifying that it covers both rather than just a may not win the game unless it just like explains it very
instead
in depth.
It just simplifies it pretty much.
I think it simplifies. It makes it easier to understand.
Yeah.
The LP.
Yeah, it's like
LPE thing.
you gotta lose the traditional way. There's no
instead of talking about, hey, our LP has to go to 0. It's saying no. This is just blocking win and loss conditions.
Yeah.
Which basically is just saying, hey, you got to play the game out.
Yeah. Your Grim Reaper doesn't matter here.
And that 1 is definitely he's rounding up, so he's going to get 1 damage on it. Luckily, right? Because if it's rounded down, then it'd be 0.
So that means 5 then? That means 5.
No, all damage to the artifact is reduced by half.
Yeah, but if Grim's swinging at the artifact, that's what I was referring to.
0.5 rounded up.
It's still probably 0. So, all right. The next one, Deadly. Are you able to get to page 60?
Colorado Springs Elf.
Go ahead.
I'm already there. All right. So we got the Colorado Springs Elf. Original text. Destroyed. Once per game, you may say, "Bring on the children." To place up to 3 beasties with the same name.
Why'd you say it like that?
I don't know. It was in quotations. I felt like I needed to give a little spice.
For that one?
So bring on the children. To place up to 3 beasties with the name Colorado Spring Elf, or to have chibi in their name from their limbo or chapter into the arena. I want to reread that. So if it's destroyed, once per game, you may say, "Bring on the children." To place up to 3.
You didn't say it with the accent that time.
Yeah, because it threw me off. I didn't realize how much it was going to mess me up. Now again,
Idiot.
Destroyed. Once per game, you may say, "Bring on the children." To place up to 3 beasties with the name Colorado Spring Elf, or to have chibi in their name from their limbo or chapter into the arena. So basically, it allows you to grab 3 beasties with chibi in their name from limbo or chapter, or 3 Colorado Spring Elf.
I love that you went into all this time to read this, and if you see what the errata is, you're gonna hate yourself.
Yeah, it's. Oh
God!
It's
all right, now
original.
don't listen.
I was gonna say that, but I was just letting him ride it out.
All right, so this is the corrected text. Destroyed. Once per game, you may say, "Bring on the children." to place up to 3 beasties with the name Colorado Spring Elf or that have Chibi in their name from the limbo or chapter name. So basically they just added
An S.
They added
The S.
in the springs.
It's the same thing.
Why is this here?
My favorite part of this is they messed up the name, and
nothing
because
changed.
of that, because of that, red ink is now valid against this page.
Oh my gosh.
Because of the S.
That's
Because of
so
one
funny.
letter.
That is funny.
Who did that on
is
purpose?
funny.
Oh, I'm dying.
That is funny.
This is also a good reminder, speaking of Bring on the Children, to remind everyone to support your Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Always. You need that.
Bring on the children.
Do they sponsor podcasts?
If not,
We may have to
talking about them anyway.
we may have to bring somebody on the podcast, to have them like guest.
My Make-A-Wish is to be on Cryptid Conversations.
Said no one ever.
No one. All right.
My last dying wish.
Yeah.
All right, we're laughing way too hard.
To be on my
that.
favorite podcast, Cryptid Conversations.
I froze again, so you guys continue on while I fix
Sarah Good.
Sarah Good.
This is on page 69. It says, Sarah Good, original text, contract. If you are wearing a witch hat, search your spellbook for a dark or light spell and place it into your chapter. Other beasties with witch in their name gain plus 30 LP. The corrected text, contract. If you're wearing a witch hat, search your spellbook for a dark or light spell page and place that into your chapter. Other beasties with witch or witches in their name gain plus 30 LP. And here that does make a difference, that S, actually.
It does.
yeah. Here that makes a large difference. So it's cool that they corrected that or changed that or added that, because that does now change the way that this card is played. That now allows other cards to interact with it that previously were not, even though they were intended to. So that's pretty cool. I don't have the exact example off the top of my head, but
Of other cards?
yeah.
It makes me think
Salem
of,
Witches.
Salem Witches is here, but it's the same kind of ruling as Pious a Bird, where if fire's in the arena, but not, it has to be the word fire itself.
Yeah.
That
Can't be a
same kind of
picture
thing
of it.
is witches, not witches.
Well, it's
Even though
funny.
It contains the exact same letters in the right order. It's not the same.
I was, the crustacean, Wallowale crustacean. There's actually a tiny little pumpkin all the way at the bottom, and there's a scarecrow in the actual art of the card. So I don't if there's a pumpkin with an eyesight, is it the writing or is it the picture? Is it to go with Piazza Bird like flame?
So
it has to
I
be
do
fire.
believe that
writing.
they ruled it. Yeah, it has to be writing. That the art or the backgrounds or whatnot does not count.
I feel like they did that just because they thought they were going to do pictures, and then they changed it to the writing.
It's the right.
So why is there a pumpkin on the beach with this crab?
Why do you ask so many questions?
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say,
where's the scarecrow coming from?
Why are you this off topic?
Just something I saw recently with all the water I've been playing.
So
Here, Matt, this one's good for you. This one's really good for you. The Hermit.
Why are you calling me a hermit? Dude?
Yes. I am calling you a hermit.
Fine, I'll read this one too. Original text. Replace the
I
effects.
froze again. What the heck?
Replace the effect text of target spell with recover 50 LP. The resolution of this... Ooh, this is like the same thing. I could tell already. I'm not even there yet. The resolution of this page's effect cannot be prevented. Let's see. The corrected text. Replace the effect text of target spell in the resolution chain. Yep, I'm right. With recover 50 LP. That's pretty dope also. The resolution of this spell's effects cannot be prevented. That's pretty dope. No,
That's awesome.
Now, based off what we were talking about with dampen, if everything we were saying with that is accurate, this is pretty dope, in my opinion.
Yeah, so you could, oh man, that you could do some real trickery here where it's like New Year's, New Beginnings, they dampen it. You play something else, they play something else. Then you play the Hermit on their original dampen.
I'm recovering it.
Yeah, well, it changes theirs. Yeah, exactly. So they would recover 50 LP at that point because you're targeting their dampen, but your New Year's, New Beginnings would still go through.
That's fire.
In the resolution change. So like you could actually get a couple deep. They could be like, yeah, I got rid of that New Year's New Beginnings with my dampen, so I'm just gonna like strategically play some other cards with while I have the priority. And you're like, nope. And I got way into that. I'm sorry, but that's so cool.
Because the resolution of this spell's effects cannot be prevented. This is gonna be. This is.
So you couldn't even redampen it.
So I think as
because
players,
they could then play a dampen on top of that after, but you couldn't.
I think something that we as players need to get familiar with that's new is now this term resolution chain. I think we all kind of got to get.
Well, technically, this would be the perfect example.
It's something that's going to be relevant.
This is the perfect example right here. So if, like you said, if you the Hermit. No. So the resolution changed. So if you are to play this in between the resolution and I play a dampen, I can't prevent this, but I could do the thing below it still.
Yeah.
So it's in the resolution change. So I can still dampen something else, and this is going to go through no matter what.
You can't dampen. Yep. You can't dampen the Hermit, but you could still dampen something else in the resolution chain. Yeah.
So this is very, very relevant. The resolution change is very, very relevant.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We're going to have to get...
With a card like this.
We as players are going to have to adjust to this new term, resolution chain. It's something that's going to be relevant in the gameplay now.
In the old thinking, your opponent would play Hermit, you have a dampen in your chapter, and you'd be like, well, I can't do it.
I can't do it.
But you can just not to the Hermit. Yes. This is going to be interesting.
It's not really stacking at that point. It's interchangeable stacking. It's like, oh, I want to stick it in between here instead of having it on top. Because it stops it.
I actually really like that. I'm not going to lie.
Me too. This makes complete sense to me now of why they changed that. Because before I was just like, dude, like, why are you going to dampen something that's already dampened? Like I don't get it. But this actually, when you have something that can't be prevented and changes a spell text, then that's pretty good.
And when we were talking,
the double dampen was just because we didn't have another card
example.
I was gonna say when we were just talking about dampen, we weren't even thinking about the Hermit. But here's another one.
If you listen to that entire dampen conversation, we apologize.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just skip over that. But too late, you can't.
So now I believe this is the last thing that we are going
this is
over
the last one
in this episode. So Ian, you want to read this one?
It's a Hanukkah ornament.
Yeah. The Metazoo Hanukkah ornament. Original text. If at least 3 day counters are on this artifact, you may use this power at any time. Generate 8 light aura. You and target opposing caster bookmark 2 pages. And send this artifact into the afterlife. Corrected text. You may use this power at any time. If at least 3 day counters are on this artifact, generate 8 light... I don't know how I messed that up. 8 light aura.
What?
You and target opposing caster bookmark 2 pages and send this artifact into the afterlife. There is a reason that the content on my channel is not one take.
I was not expecting this to be. You may use this power at any time.
You can use the power at any time, and the only way that you're getting the 8 aura is if you have the 3 day counters. Yeah. But you'll always get to bookmark 2 pages and send it. Is that how it's reading? Because it's a comma and not a period. So it's a continuation of the sentence. So it's like almost a continuation of the effect of having the 3 day counters. But why errata it other than
Yeah,
verbiage?
It's just it functions the same either way it's written, right?
That's what
that's because it's a comma.
If at least 3 day counters are on this artifact, you may use the power at any time. You may use this power at any time if at least 3 if at least 3 day counters are on this artifact. But why would you I mean, you couldn't really use it.
Well, that's why I'm asking,
If
do you
the
get to
3D
bookmark
camera.
the 2? That's what I'm saying. The only way that really makes it super, like, viable or changed is if you're bookmarking 2 without the 8 aura, but it doesn't sound like they're doing
not.
that.
Okay, let me.
No, because it's all, like you're saying, it's all commas. It's
Yeah,
all
they're
the
not-
same
it's not a
effect. There's no differences. There's
Yeah.
no difference other than just the way they wanted to word it.
It sounds definitely more,
Well,
I think, organized
here-
with that one.
Yeah.
I think the main difference is, I mean, there really isn't much of a difference, but I think the main difference is just the order and that it's 2 separate sentences now. So it's like definite, like you may use this power at any time, period, bam. Now on to the next thing. As opposed, like that's how it's usually written when you're able to. So I think they were just like adjusting it to like its normal way of how they normally write, the Metazoo in a way. But
It's going to be one of those things where we're playing a game and you're just going to be like, I'm going to use Metazoo Hanukkah Ornament's power. I'm going to be like, you only have 2 day counters. But I can't.
But here's the thing.
I can with the errata.
So here's the thing, but
Anytime.
no, but here's the thing.
Anytime.
So no, yes, but that is
You're required to have the 3 day counters to actually effectively, like, have the power go through.
so I don't know. Generate 8 aura. I don't really get it, I guess. I don't know.
So before, the original text is you had to have 3 day counters on it, at least 3 day counters on it,
To use it at
before
any
you
time.
could even possibly
Gotcha.
use the power.
Yeah. Okay.
Now it's you can activate the power anytime, but it only does anything if there's at least 3 day counters on it.
Okay, I could see
Functionally,
reason.
there's no difference between these two.
Yeah, I got you. But I could see the difference because actually, I don't know why you would ever do this, honestly, but there are pages where it's like, destroy every awakened page in the arena or something. So it's like, fuck, I want to fatigue this so I could do something.
You're just constantly fatiguing it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like they're...
Yeah, but don't you get rid of it?
No.
No.
It's just a power.
Send this artifact into the afterlife.
Does it say that?
Yeah, but it's just part of the other. It's part of that single sentence.
Yeah, so...
if at least 3 day counters are on this, generate 8 Laura.
Yeah, but if you're fatiguing
and target
it,
a
you're
person
fatiguing
you
it to
cast it.
use it.
Yeah, but it would stop.
And then if you
would
use it,
stop
then-
But exactly. The power
would never go through?
resolves
Yeah.
because you don't have the day counters.
Yeah.
And because it's
so you just fatigue
it's an A
So-
effect, comma
so
B effect,
you-
comma
yeah.
C effect.
You were
which is
fatiguing.
just, the
You were
last effect
fatiguing
is-
this page at any time, and then if at least 3 day counters are on this artifact, they're not.
This will all happen.
Yeah, on to the next thing. There's not.
So basically, to sum it up, you can fatigue this card
Just
at
to
any
fatigue
time.
it. Yeah. Just.
for no reason.
No reason.
But like.
Hey! Stop!
But no,
Stop!
you're right.
There may be a
I'm gonna
reason.
fatigue this.
There may be a reason. Or the
Hold on
or
to
the
that,
opposite.
Nathan.
The one that's actually come to my head is like there's the page where it's every fatigued page in the arena gets destroyed and stuff. But again, I'm just assuming.
I see what you're saying.
I'm just assuming there will
there
be
are some things where this
yeah. So I'm just assuming again in the future, maybe who even knows? Maybe they're prepping for Native, the new set to comes out that's coming out. Maybe there'll be maybe there's some interaction where like this might cause some confusion. We need to clear this up kind of now, ahead of time. Who knows? But it might be relevant. Where like maybe you do want to fatigue that page for some reason, even though you can't do the other stuff. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, it is kind of pointless in a way. The way for now, it's the same thing. For
that
now.
was the last change.
Yeah. Then the other thing just tells us the dates of the erratas, and you can see that today's date was added or whatever.
Oh my god. I didn't realize we're an hour and 40 in already.
Yeah, that's why I was saying we are
That's-
definitely not doing the rules for this episode. So we are
Well-
ending it here.
If you're listening to this in the car, you just had a very long trip.
Yeah, we hope you made it to your destination.
Safe, yeah. But Deadly,
Yes.
say your closing piece, and we'll get out of here.
I will see you all at the water tower. That is it.
All right.
I don't know. Will we see him again?
Who?
We gonna have another episode before the water tower or no?
So for
One?
for those who
Maybe one?
for those who don't know,
Well, we should.
I am moving.
Oh,
Relocating.
I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
I'm moving.
Don't do it.
I'm moving multiple states, so there might be some pause in episodes and stuff, but I do think we will be able to get one more out after this one. And then we're possibly going to be dabbling into live streaming episodes in the future. So that's a possibility. It's not guaranteed, but
I think it makes sense, right? Because we have a few days turnaround between episodes. So sometimes we've had episodes that we've done, and then by the time that we get it out, it's either not relevant or the information's changed. Yeah.
So no, I think
it'll be good.
I think it would be good as well.
Nothing we say is irrelevant.
So yeah,
so very true.
Except for this entire show.
So I move right before Water Towers, so that's why Deadly was saying, "Are we going to get one out before Water Towers?" So
yeah,
just for reference. Yeah. So there will be
we have a busy month ahead of us.
I'm moving. We got the Water Towers coming up, where people will be out of town and stuff like that. So just a heads up, there might be some lapses in episodes, and we do apologize. But if we can live stream during that time, we'll try to figure it out.
Maybe me and MJ will live stream in the car on the way up.
Do it.
But
yeah. Where do you guys want us to stop? What cryptid do you want us to see?
Orlando Collecticon.
Oh gosh, that's like literally the day I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's like the worst time to stop in Orlando. Literally an hour, 2 hours after we start driving.
We started
18 more hours to go.
Yeah, we started a 20-hour drive. Let's stop 3 hours in for a convention
with a dog.
Yeah, I got my dog. So anyway,
your lack of dedication is known.
Oh geez. I'm sorry.
Mike will remember this.
I went to the Collecticons last year. Ian.
Oops. Hopefully this year. Hopefully I'll be at least one.
You'll be a Frog Fest. That's what counts.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited.
With that, Ian, why don't you say your closing piece for this for the episode?
Yeah. I got confused for a second there on what to say because Cryptid Nation news. But when I'm asking you to subscribe to my channel, you're going to be looking for Cardboard and Coffee by the time this episode drops. So go check that out. I'm pretty sure if you still just do a YouTube search for Cryptid Nation news, it should pop up.
I'll have you linked either way, though.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So check the description below. And that's where you can go to get updates on anything Metazoo. We do weekly updates for all the announcements and anything I can find in the chats that are notable. So not just what was announced in the Discord, but I do a little bit of digging on top of that as well. And then there's going to be some other content. I'm going to start branching out into new series. So, if you're interested in another card game I'm going to cover is Rise. We're doing Rise content, and then I have some ideas for other content that's Metazoo adjacent stuff to do, interviews and that kind of stuff with the community. So
awesome.
I don't exactly know what the future looks like yet, but there's going to be a lot of changes to the channel.
I'm excited, man. I'm here for the ride.
Also,
very excited.
Support Make-A-Wish.
Support Make-A-Wish. So
he's really trying to save face here.
So
I'm trying to save face?
Yeah.
I'm not the one last episode that was like, hey, this dude doesn't support Make-A-Wish Foundation. And then there was this really awkward speech.
Hey. I asked.
It made everyone uncomfortable.
I asked his views on it.
I do that. I like to make people uncomfortable because I don't get uncomfortable.
Yeah, he lacks that one emotion or that one feeling.
I don't get embarrassed. It doesn't affect me. I know what I am, you can't hurt my feelings more than I've hurt them myself,
Let's make a list in the comments below what we think MJ is.
Do it. If you can offend me, I'll give you my Metazoo collection, okay?
Wow.
I don't think it's possible.
Italy, we have 4-day lead time on everyone else.
I know. And I actually have 10 years lead time on this on everybody else. So I'm probably gonna win if I have the best chance.
For my announcements for this week, if you guys want to read up on anything Metazoo, check out Metazoo Archives. That link will also be in the description below. It's a website that the three of us are attached to and have not been working too much on, but other people have. So if you would like to read any of the articles that Cutthroat Pie has been writing, feel free to check out Metazoo Archives, because he's been putting in a lot of work, and it's really something.
A ton of work.
Yeah, it's a dope website with a lot of good information.
Yeah.
And
He's carrying it.
Yeah. So once my move is over, I plan on doing some more gameplay articles for you there and stuff like that. But I'm
if you want to hear something about Casey Jones, read MG's article.
my article from 4 months ago.
That's about it.
But for this channel, I always just suggest everybody, if you're not in our Discord, please join our Discord. There's a tab for anybody for anything Metazoo related. So it's a pretty cool community. We pretty much are all involved in that community, so you could contact all of us directly via that community. Lastly, just we're trying to get some subscribers to the channel, and we're doing a giveaway once we hit 250 subscribers. I should be asking for subscribers in the beginning of the episode if I was smart, but I don't.
Yeah.
So
the people still here are the dedicated people that made it through the entire episode.
That's what I was going to say. So if you made it this far, and you haven't,
assuming you're already subscribed,
if you haven't subbed yet, I mean, could you just hit that button?
Might as well.
Could you just hit that button for me, dude? No. I don't want to beg, but I will, Okay.
He's begging to give away free stuff.
Yeah. So if we get to 250, you will win. Well, not you will win. You can win. You can possibly.
No, you will. Everybody.
Every single one. Watch your mouth, MJ. Hopefully they didn't get that far in this episode.
Possibly win. You will be entered to win via our Discord again. So enter that. There will be a giveaway.
This is not a legal binding agreement.
We will be giving away a Wilderness Revive box that is unopened, so you will be able to redeem a skateboard and hopefully get another pull from it. Help us get to 250 subs, and if you haven't subbed yet, please hit that button. Besides that, guys, I plan on doing some more stuff after my move is done. I do plan on hosting some more events, the gameplay events, the learn to play events, things like that, that we were doing previously. So again, I just apologize that it hasn't been going on, and just bear with us, and we'll get back to that stuff pretty soon. So with that being said, that is it for this week. It has been a long episode. I appreciate everybody for watching, and we will catch you guys next time. Have a good one, guys.
See you later.